Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all our listeners here at Sembang Sehat by Sehat Sehat. Alright, so this morning is very special. It's very awesome. It is spectacular. Guess why? We have a Malaysian player and specifically a futsal Malaysian player. She is, yes, I'm talking about a female athlete here, guys. Alright, from the female division. Guess what? A goalkeeper. I have here this morning, it's Nina Azman, guys, Malaysian goalkeeper. How are you this morning? Assalamualaikum, Kak.
Salam. Okay, hi. I'm good. Sihat, Alhamdulillah.
Dengar cerita this morning, your anak is a bit ni kan. So, how are they? Okay tak?
Okay, both of them okay. First, with adik, kena dulu. After that, abang pula. But you know lah, budak-budak, kalau dia demam, dia sakit, dia punya mengada-ngada tu over, right?
Ni anak-anak dah sekolah ke? Anak-anak tadi kali lagi ni?
Ada, my case is baru setahun and another one is 2 tahun. So dia, tapi adik dia dah play school lah. Dia go to play school.
Cantik ni timing tu kan. Separate kan. Cantik
timing. Dia macam time tengah rehat PKP. So kita macam okay, after that kita dah boleh continue balik.
So she's your children are part of the apa? Dia dulu ada baby boomers. Ni MCO boomers lah. So it's like Alhamdulillah lah. I mean dapat dua kurniaan Tuhan dapat.
Alhamdulillah.
So not to talk about your personal life. So today nak sembang pasal your career in football, in futsal, and then like macam a bit of background lah. Masa you main bola jaring tau. So macam ada banyak kita discuss because I pun goalkeeper zaman dulu, zaman muda. Tak pernah as successful as you lah. Okay, but Alhamdulillah, congrats to you.
Everyone is success.
Okay.
Everyone is success.
Yelah, tapi macam like teringin juga nak pakai that your colours. Kita fikir juga nak pakai that logo. I mean like that's the end game for every like those who main amateur ke apa kan. We want to carry that flag on our chest juga. So first question. So background sikit lah. So start bila like you went into sports, like not futsal but sports first?
Okay, I start with masa daripada I kecil lagi, daripada sekolah rendah, involved with many lah olahraga normal lah because of masa kecil kita more kepada olahraga and then netball. After that I betul-betul serious in netball, bola jaring dulu, sekolah menengah, and then I wakil sekolah, and then I wakil negeri MSSJ. Masa I dekat negeri Johor. So I'm wakili negeri Johor.
Of course, Johor. At least come from Johor lah kan. Semua top tier semua daripada Johor.
So I memang start with netball first.
Okay.
So bila in netball, my position is goal defender. Okay, goal defender. Okay. So maybe because of the basic of the catching ball and for the defend, that's why I changed my career in sport to football or futsal in goalkeeper.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, sebab here's the thing sebab when it comes to pasal bola lah, cakap pasal goalkeeper bola dengan goal defender for netball. Okay, the thing is bola dia datang daripada atas tau. And usually memang tak aim kat kita pun. But kalau netball kan, the ball is coming here, daripada straight. So macam how do you make that transition? Macam mana you biasakan diri nak tahu tangkap bola daripada sini, nak adjust to like macam a shot coming through you tau. Sebab momentum dia lain, force dia lain juga.
Okay, actually the one is from the timing and for the accurate lah. Maknanya daripada kita punya fokus bola. Sebenarnya bola datang daripada mana pun, even defender pun, datang dari mana pun, we have to intercept. We have to catch. We have to, orang cakap, halang daripada opponent dapat. So same thing, goalkeeper, cuma beza samanya adalah kita menghalang daripada bola tu sampai lebih daripada kita. So goalkeeper pun sama, kita tak bagi dia masuk gol. Cuma dia adalah change dia daripada segi goalkeeper ni, dia punya agility dia lain, dia punya sebagai goal defender ni pun lain, dia punya area dia. So macam goalkeeper ni banyak low body tu, dia lebih
lagi banyak.
Yes, betul.
Okay, so sebab macam the transition lah, macam like sorry, not transition, the goal defender for netball kan. Okay, so would you say you were more lebih kepada interceptor ke ataupun yang jenis stopper yang suka letak bola kat tangan kat muka orang tu?
Intercept. I lebih kepada interceptor. So macam sebab interceptor ni forward pun penting because we have the timing with the ball. So maybe dekat situ yang cuma dia punya basic catch and dengan timing dengan body lah. Dia punya synchronize antara body dengan tangan tu berbeza sikit dengan goalkeeper.
Okay.
Goalkeeper dia kena steady sikit. We have to lock ourselves from because of we more static. Macam a goal defender as a netball kita running.
Ya,
Kita running, kita inside
kita kena
jumping.
marking.
Yes, that one memang lain sikit. Cuma the thing yang sama adalah kita menghalang bola tu lebih daripada kita. Maknanya kita kena pull full stop the ball. Macam tu lah dia punya basic
understood.
dia.
Because ni still on technical sikit Ada rasa perbezaan tak when you like as a goal defender, you're using your entire body tau, tapi as a goalkeeper,
yes,
atas sampai ke bawah tu itulah kita punya shield. Itulah yang tu shield. So like macam first time you step on a goalkeeper punya a goal punya line, how did it feel?
Dia different macam goal defender dia punya teknik on training pun banyak jumping forward. Okay, but bila transaction on goalkeeper, we banyak guna full body part daripada segi dia tak jumping sangat, tapi kita banyak use from leg to hand semua memang kita banyak move agile. Lepas tu kita dah down kiri, kita down kanan balik. Macam netball kita pass kita dah nampak. Tapi football you have to reflex.
Yes.
Bila reflex tu, so first time I'm in the goal post, reflex tu agak lambat because of I tak ada pengalaman reflex tu.
Understood.
Tapi in part of defending tu ada. So dekat situ bezanya macam goalkeeper ni dia kadang-kadang kalau timnya bagus tu dia macam makan Maggi kat bawah macam tu kan. Tapi kalau timnya pum dia bekerja keras. Tapi in part goal sebagai dalam netball kita kena sentiasa.
Okay.
Dia macam bola sampai pun kita kena bekerja. Macam goalkeeper ni bila orang kata game training ni game situation ni dia relax. Okay. Sebenarnya tapi training macam nak mati.
Okay, training tu memang okay.
Training so
I agree.
That one different. So tapi kalau macam bola jaring, game pun teruk.
Training pun teruk. Bagus dia ada mental set.
Tapi kelebihan pada goalkeeper ni adalah you kena main dengan psikologi juga. You kena tahu ketahanan mental you. You tak boleh pecah, you tak boleh cepoyak, you kena relax, kena steady. That one is keistimewaan goalkeeper ni lah yang I nampak different from the goal defender.
Okay. So you memang choose to be goalkeeper ke apa, ataupun you memang or what? I mean like there's because ada lagi 4 position ni bila main ala ke set apa semua kan.
At the first time memang of course kita masa first time try, dia famous masa tu 3R. Kan masa tu agak famous ya.
Golden Ginchu bukan 3R, Golden Ginchu player.
Tapi before the Golden Ginchu dia ada 3R
3R
punya
yang apa? Respect,
relax and I think
respond. Rasa kot.
So masa tu kan quite famous feminine play apa semua kan. So masa tu I dengan kawan-kawan netball, jom lah kita try main futsal. So bila dah try tu, semua orang nak jadi player. Nobody want to play a keeper. So I the first tu I main keeper, and then continually tiba-tiba macam bagus lah main keeper. So I main for one tournament, and then ada coach kat situ, coach Johor masa tu.
Wow.
So the first dia tengok tu, so dia kata jom dia nak main. I punya state level is sukan wanita masa tu 2005 ke 2004.
How you like 18, 19?
Yeah, 18 or 17. 18 rasanya tak silap I masa tu. So that one is the first. So bila I main pula untuk Johor, masa tu tengah ada pemilihan untuk national for under 23.
Okay.
So dapat. So that's why terus I menuju ke football and futsal.
Okay. Football and futsal.
Yeah.
Okay. So just just quick question, macam like how does it work in the system our system, because there's under 18, there's under 23, and then there's the full team lah. So ada tak orang yang daripada instead of like masuk under 18 atau masuk under 23, dia terus kena select to national team?
Ada juga.
Okay.
One yang previous I punya mate adalah Steffi. Steffi dia play for 23, but dia main juga for the national. But dia di junior lah. Tapi dia junior lah. Masa tu I for the year I tak main. For the next tu baru I main for national pula. Masa tu young age lah. So dia pendedahan tu sebab football ni dia akan panggil pun collab pun ramai 25 ke 30 orang. Sebab
bola ke futsal ni?
Bola dulu. Bola
padang.
Yes. So dia so kat situ kita akan orang cakap apa bersaing lah. Dan kita boleh tengok 4 goalkeeper, 5 goalkeeper. Kadang ada injuries and everything. So that's why preparation biasalah preparation team lah.
Okay. So just ni ambil opinion tau. keeper Padang dan keeper futsal ni lain.
Yes.
Agreed tak?
Agree.
Okay, sure.
So different.
Okay. So now we're on the same path lah. Sebab, okay, for the usually for the basics lah, orang for goalkeepers kan, we always say kalau keeper Padang is like 7 step kanan, 7 step kiri. That's our cover lah kan. That's our cover. So how was that transition lah? Macam like you started with futsal first. Sebab kita biasa court futsal, court kecil. Senang. Macam letak kaki, okay, we can block the angle. Tapi kalau bola Padang nak kena cover angle yang lagi besar. Lepas tu nak kerja line juga. So how was that transition for you?
Ingat tak I cakap I goal defender. We jumping. Yes, that the transition I use in football. That's why I can become a national football keeper masa tu. So because I use the transition netball tu because we have jumping. Cuma we tak ada diving. Kalau netball kita tak ada diving. Kita just put on intercept and everything. Itu yang I kena belajar. Experience lah. So maknanya the transition of training. That's why I belajar macam mana we have to land. We punya shoulder. Yeah, that one paling penting because of salah diving. It's gonna be
nak macam tu. You want to hilang, you nak rotator cuff tu hilang ke? Nak shoulder separation ke? Mana satu salah jatuh kan.
Lagi satu, bila kita menjadi seorang atlet, bila kita serius, we have to know. Kita kena ada tambah knowledge kita, macam mana kita nak buat, macam mana kita nak ni. So kita, sebab kita punya passion kan, kita nak. So kita kena belajar. Kita tak boleh harap coach ni cakap. So kita kena lah. So dekat situ I tengok player lain, I tengok game, I tengok kita tengok, lepas tu kita tengok senior kita belajar daripada coach, daripada senior and everything. So alhamdulillah lah, dekat situ lah mula-mulanya I sebagai seorang goalkeeper.
Okay, wow. So like your goalkeeper career lah started dengan bola dulu ke started dengan futsal dulu? Like officially lah.
Officially sebenarnya in amateur lah. In betul-betul start tu adalah futsal.
Okay.
Tapi because of women's in Malaysia ni, dia tak ramai tau. Masa tu tak berapa berkembang. So women's football and futsal dia macam it's like macam lebih kurang je. Orang ni boleh main futsal, orang ni boleh main bola. So that's why I go to football because of we have of course kita nak bila national offer. Wow, I so proud to nak jadi national ni. Kita nak buat lambang national ni. So I have to choose lah. So bukan I cakap paksa kena jadi masuk, tapi because I want to. So I tahu dekat situ kita akan dapat banyak experience, training and everything kan. So kat situlah barulah start. First is football national lah. I main football national.
So first game football national dengan siapa?
Jordan.
Wah, terus ingat serius. You never forget your first game. You never. How did you feel? Like macam like national anthem dah main, dah line up, national anthem main, go to your position, lepas tu tengok depan. How did that feel?
That one like masa tu I become a first goalkeeper.
First choice.
So I macam wow, nervous because ada satu lagi yang experience dia dah lama tapi coach pilih I sebagai first national. So I rasa macam terharu sangat dan I perform. Masa tu pun I perform well. Walaupun kita orang kalah 2-1 tapi we perform well lah. Macam as a goalkeeper I perform well. Dulu kita muda, kita tak kisah. Semua kita langgar. Habis semua ya. Yes.
Umur after 10 years later baru kita rasa the effects lah kan. Time tu tak fikir. So okay, as a goalkeeper lah, your style of goalkeeping lah. Are you the type to rush out or you the type to like wait for the ball to come, like macam contoh lah, people take a shot and then you dive to save it ke, or are you the type to like rush out and go to people's legs?
First my game is I guna rush out. We don't have experience. We tahu bola tu tak boleh masuk gol. So with speed and everything, masa tu kita tak ada experience. Yang penting kita rush out. Tapi yang bagusnya adalah masa tu I have a good timing.
Okay.
I have a good timing because kan? Yes, I have a good timing. Tapi after then we learn how to bila masa kita nak kena pergi, bila masa kita nak kena stay untuk save. So the experience. So everything kita belajar by step kan. So for the first tu memang I banyak rush out. Tapi ada yang I tak dapat lupakan masa tu, we all dekat Malaysia kita ada friendly tau. Friendly mostly adalah lelaki veteran ataupun under 18. Kita takkan friendly dengan yang average sama lah. Maknanya kita akan under 18 budak-budak ataupun lelaki veteran. So we play against coaches in FAM. So the one masa tu play adalah Raja Gopal.
Wow, the legend
and
himself.
I tak akan lupa bila dia cakap, what a brave goalkeeper you. Sebab I masa tu macam brush out, sebab nampak dia tengah bawa, so I intercept dia punya bola. So dia jerit lah, what the great ball. So I macam proud sikit lah. Masa tu that one yang menjadikan pemangkin I lah.
Okay,
Macam tu
understood.
lah.
No, okay, because that masa I don't know, because masa a certain time goalkeepers normal rush out, macam like kalau tengok Italian goalkeepers ke like all the memang defensive teams lah kan. Dia memang jenis rush out, but if you go towards England ke France kan,
Dia
akan prefer to more towards like watch for the ball and wait for it to come.
Dia kadang-kadang kita kena tengok our defender juga. We have to communicate with our defender. Siapa yang main? Okay, we know this defender is contoh dia jenis memang rush out. So we have to see.
Okay.
But kalau defender yang suka tunggu reserve back, so we yang kena pergi.
So kalau macam ikut last man ke ikut stopper? Kalau biasanya ada satu.
Biasanya dia antara last man atau stopper lah. Kita tengok the situation lah. Biasanya.
So kalau macam let's say lah, if the last man is dah naik,
dia suka cutting. Okay.
So what do you do? Like macam like you prefer to stay back or go off your line ke, or you stay within your line?
Biasanya kalau dia dah pergi and then dia ada space untuk I kena check sama ada I kena check space I dengan dia. Kalau too far, kalau dia dah control bola, contohnya the player dah control bola, so I have to wait.
Your player.
Macam mana?
No, sorry. Your player yang control bola ke opponent
dah control bola. Sebenarnya dia dapat bola, the space, I kena tengok space, timing and the opponent. Kalau opponent tu dah control bola, I have to wait what dia akan buat. Tapi kalau dia baru nak, then I have to rush out.
Okay, so it's all about timing and tengok apa dia buat lah. So macam okay, understood. Because worst thing for keepers, kita tak nak kena chip.
Yes. Chip, oleh. Itu antara benda yang, oh my god.
Pernah aku kalau oleh weh.
Aduh, of course.
Tak payah cerita. Itu semua pengalaman ngeri. I faham. So, but like, to those of you who are listening, for young goalkeepers out there, lelaki ke perempuan, tips are coming out, guys. Okay, there are tips coming out. Okay, so please do listen and take note. Okay, dia from National Keeper. Okay,
Okay.
No, okay. So in case mana tahu orang dengar kan, inspire people. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to training lah kan, there are 3 types that I know of lah, which is footwork, agility, and reflex. People say macam like, agility and reflex should be the same thing. Do you agree ke tak?
No, lain. Okay, reflex is different with agility. Dia agility is much more kita punya keupayaan tau. Dia lain orang lain dia punya keupayaan. Some is good in the right, some is good in the left. So we decide nak increase, nak betulkan yang much more better yang mana satu. Agility ni memang kita kena tanya diri sendiri. Okay. Reflex pun kita kena apa orang cakap keep track. Maksudnya yang tu memang kena train. Sebab kita mungkin hari ni kita slow reflex kita, tapi because of we train, our reflex is much more better.
Okay, understood. So nak training is a key part lah.
Bagi I keeper ni macam I tak tahulah orang lain, tapi I keeper training sangat penting.
Yes, agreed.
Improvement keeper actually from the training. Sebab keeper ni dia need training. Because of kalau dia seorang-seorang, dia tak macam player. Player you boleh main bola, you buat sendiri apa semua. Tapi keeper ni you kena training betul-betul. Baru ada improvement. Bukan I cakap tak ada lah, tapi much more nampak lah.
Because experience alone doesn't help. Kalau sokong lah.
Goalkeeper ni lah, dia memang kena cari. Macam okay, katalah 1 month you buat sendiri pun dia tak akan dapat exactly betul-betul yang you punya full training lah. Dia akan differently lah. Sebab I dah rasa benda tu.
Okay, understood. So that's best juga. This is the whole point of our podcast. Dapat pengalaman sikit and then like you know how to be healthy. So when it comes to like shots lah, when you coming to shot stopping, okay. So do you feel, ada tak pernah rasa takut like macam like kalau bola or futsal lah, let's go with bola first. Long shots, do you prefer, which one do you feel safer? Shots daripada jauh or shots within your D?
Sebenarnya long shot tu sebenarnya lagi bahaya. Sebenarnya.
So memang you prefer the short ones lah, sebab
senang tangkap. Short one is dia satu senang kita block. And then satu lagi memang kita, kalau kita catching tapi in futsal safety first, so we have to clear, ataupun kalau kita can catch is better lah.
That's the best lah.
Tapi the long shot is kita memang kena kadang-kadang pengalaman itu memainkan peranan juga.
Because
good
you can
timing.
never tell where the ball goes. Kalau dia dah bola tu kat atas,
kita nampak macam okay aku confident tu ambil kan, tapi
where you going? Where you going?
Because saya ada pernah kena sekali dengan Myanmar masa tu. I play for SEA Games 2013 masa tu. Dia bagi bola yang between par
How?
That one timing I cakap okay, I dah ready for. I cakap I think I have a good timing.
Okay.
But slippers dia pop masuk.
Just fingertips. So there's
Yeah,
fingertips safe.
No, masa tu I kena.
Okay.
Because of the timing. I dah nampak. Okay. I confident lah to pull it.
To push
ni
it over kan? Push it over the bar.
Yes. But suddenly tak dapat the timing. So that's why I cakap you have to be careful with the long pass. Sebab long pass is very dangerous sebenarnya.
Okay lah, bukan long pass, like
Long shot. Sorry.
Kalau long pass tu, long pass tu
lain.
macam corner tu pun dah kira long pass, tapi kadang-kadang pun dia macam asal dia curve cantik ni.
Itu bahaya juga tu.
Itulah pasal. So it's like macam those kind of like shots kan, yang long shots tu kan. Does the wind affect, to be honest, like the wind or the weather, like contohnya macam like walaupun kita pakai glove, kalau bola tu basah pun nak tangkap akan mati.
Yeah.
But like if you want to punch it out pun, like the confidence
still pun berbahaya juga.
We don't know how much force is needed for it to go over tau.
Yeah.
So like, ada tak experience tu, like something you can tell us about macam how the weather can affect your game?
So that's why sebab tu I cakap goalkeeper yang differently daripada netball ni, psychology. You punya experiment psychology, how you calm yourself. Sometimes macam Myanmar tu, the first game yang I rasa macam full house of penonton.
Okay.
And I tak boleh nak shout dekat defender I. So the bit mental because of ramai sangat orang tengok ni. And then so that one memainkan peranan I in psychology lah. I dah macam nervous nak ni kan. So itu I cakap, bila I confident dapat, tapi sebenarnya I tak full jumping because of too confident. So bila weather tu ditambahkan lagi dengan Myanmar, I main dekat Mandalay, so sangat sejuk.
And biasanya we're not used to playing in the cold. And like orang takkan faham how it feels like to play in the cold where badan tu kebas.
Dia tak macam full strength macam tu. So itulah I cakap, dia underestimate me dengan bola tu sendirilah. So dengan the weather, so kita kena kenal diri dan kena kenal situasi dan kena tahu weather ni. Sebab tu kalau bola training tengah hujan pun kita training juga. Sebab kita nak dapatkan the feel tu.
Okay. So I mean like kalau pada lecak tu is macam does it create a problem for you?
Yes, still.
How does
because
it create a problem for you?
Because kalau I bertakung, kita nampak bola tu laju. Tapi bola tu berhenti kat situ. That one is mengganggu kita punya timing.
Okay.
Itu bahaya juga.
Of course lah, because like the worst part is macam like let's say someone shot ke apa, you think it's like it's going to come towards you, tapi like because bola tu jadi berat, bola tu jadi besar air kan, pop. Okay, what do I do now? What do I do now, man?
So they want reflex lah. We have to ni.
Okay, so have you made like crazy saves tak? Macam like for example lah, the thing kalau bola and futsal, the thing about goalkeepers is if we are confident, like when we're really on form and we're confident kan, we will jump out. Let's say it's a low cross. If it's a low cross, kita tahu someone akan first time. Dah boleh budget lah. Ni orang akan first time kat kita ni. But somehow dia mampus lompat je. Lompat, tangkap and then like macam like kena sepak lah. Wallah like tawakal je lepas tu. Pernah tak buat macam tu?
Pernah. Masa tu I tak catch bola lah. This guy lah, masa I friendly, this guy ni dia confident, dia shoot macam I dekat position sini, dia shoot belah sana. So dia confident dia akan goal. I pun masa tu pun I tak tahu, mungkin reflex lah. We jumping yang like macam yang dekat
this is a high cross ke low ball?
High cross. Dia shooting. Tapi dia shot yang hujung top post tu. Yes.
Okay.
That's why I pun tak tahu macam mana boleh save. I memang save fingertip macam tu. Tapi tak ada gambar je.
Alamak, ruginya.
Tapi tu memang I terkejut jugalah. I punya rupanya benda tu boleh kita buat.
Just that you cannot think about it. You cannot think about it certain times. Macam like nampak je like boleh ke tak boleh tu tak boleh. It cannot be there tau. It's macam like pop, that's it. Like don't think.
So lepas tu ada satu lagi friend ni dengan Thailand. Dah save lah kanan, depan and kiri. Bangun depan pula. Sebab bola itulah bezanya bila kita save tu sebenarnya kena save terus. Bila kita muntah bola tu, tu yang kita dah kena 1, kena 2, kena 3.
Especially kalau futsal lah.
Football pun ada juga.
Football ada juga. Tapi like
futsal much more lah.
Much more. The chances of happening is like very, very high.
Yeah.
So tak apa. Bola lagi. Nanti cerita pasal futsal lagi lama pula. So when it comes to like opponents lah kan. Opponents. When you're a goalkeeper. Yes, you can use your hands. You can jump and use your hands. But what if your opposition is taller than you? And nak pula kalau dia suka di depan keeper.
Yes.
How
Tu
does that feel? And then what do you do?
itu yang I cakap, kita kena calm.
Okay.
So dulu mula-mula tu macam marah jugalah macam kan.
Macam berat kan?
Kan. Tapi macam kita cakap tak boleh. Dia psycho kita. So we have to psycho back lah. We do lah whatever kita nak buat ke macam tu. Dia tengah relax, tengah kita pop sekali ke kita macam tapi I pernah kena because dulu I pakai braces tau. So I challenge with my defend dengan dia. So dia I ingat siku dia kot. So
siku opponent ke siku member?
Opponent rasanya.
Okay.
So kena dekat I punya between bibir ni. So kena dekat besi braces. So dia berat lah bleeding lah. Dia
so bleeding. So nak stop game kejap.
Stop kejap lah. Take it ni lah.
Okay. Ow.
Itu. Banyak lagi sama macam experience shooting lelaki. Macam dia laju kan. So I sempat kat sini je.
Tak sempat triangle lah.
Tak sempat
get the triangle
ni. So
in.
dia pump kat sini 2 hari sebelum nak raya masa tu. Ada friendly. So sikit terima kasih I raya with the ball biru.
We call it the mark of war. The scars of war kan.
Itu benda-benda yang normal lah as a goalkeeper. Muka, hidung. Itu biasalah.
Okay. So because like macam one thing a lot of people don't notice lah kan. Kalau corners are the most dangerous for keepers.
Sebab timing dia antara dia nak put on the ball depan ke belakang ke, and then we challenge dengan defender yang kalau tinggi. Macam China selalu tinggi tau. Okay. European pun tinggi.
Yeah, agree.
Itu memang a big challenge lah.
So kalau macam like,
kalau nasib kita baik, kita boleh paut bahu dia lah.
As in like you memang will like letak your hand on the shoulder and then you will.
Tapi
is that legal?
Like we have to do lah something yang macam kita cakap kata macam
kalau dia tak nampak lah. Kalau linesman nampak habis lah.
Tapi tengok because of I punya size okay. Tinggi I dia sebab kawan-kawan I semua rendah. So I punya tinggi tu, height tu a bit okay dengan opponent lah. Ada juga opponent yang more tinggi. Tapi untuk size sebab I tinggi juga 169. So untuk Europe tu kira I paling rendah. Macam tu lah.
when you go to like Europe or like to even Japan pun kadang-kadang tiba-tiba like, macam like how is this midfielder 188? Macam like kau ni Asian ke tak? We always have that mindset kan. But like macam different kinds of opponents lah. Macam what opponents do you prefer? Small and fast or big and strong? Because like usually you jarang lah kita dapat like opponent yang has a combination of all four.
Tapi sebenarnya tinggi tu memang dia ada keistimewaan on height. Tapi in part of dia punya speed and skill is kurang, less. Sebab situ I lebih senang bila one versus one tu kita senang baca timing dia. Daripada yang lebih kecil lebih lincah fast. Yes. That one is a bit susah sikit. Sometimes kita dah nak dia boleh lagi.
Tiba-tiba macam like mana kaki kau datang
ada benda macam tu.
There is always kalau futsal kita panggil dia orang sotong. Sebab tiba-tiba like macam lincah sangat. So once like depending on your opponent, would you like now like at your age now, do you still dare to rush out?
Yang tu memang bila kita meningkat, bila kita punya usia tu, memang kita kena tengok jugalah. Macam sekarang usia dah meningkat, main lagi sebagai
tolong sikit lah. Usia dah meningkat.
Sebab dia kadang-kadang
lebih matang.
Dia lebih macam kita lebih cool down.
Okay.
But still I takkan bagilah orang untuk ada space untuk kenakan I. Bagi I, siapa yang goal tu dia macam like nak kenakan I. Macam tu lah. Tapi sebenarnya itu in part of my psychology lah.
How you set yourself up.
Yeah, I set myself, dia nak kenakan I. So maksudnya dia try to nak score goal lah. So I akan try to, kalau macam kat rush up ni memang still, but check the timing. Dia ada experience lah. Dah tahu dah. Lepas tu lagi satu I suka bila start nak the game tu, I akan tengok the opponent. Dia ni yang bagus ke, yang ni. Kita boleh tahu tau. Kita boleh kaji which one player yang good player, which one player yang memang kaki kanan ke kaki kiri. Dan kita kat situ kita akan tahu bila one by one dengan dia ke, bila dia nak scoring ke, kita dah tahu dah.
Because like one thing about goalkeepers, we have to read the game. We have to read players. So macam I'm not sure if this applies to you lah, because some goalkeepers have said macam you have to imagine 10 seconds to the game, 15 seconds into the game, like what can happen. Do you do that?
Yes, of course.
So you do have your mental simulation juga. Okay.
Betul. Yang tu memang kita macam kita kena macam kita macam kena berangan juga.
Yes.
Sometimes kena berangan tu.
Yes. You're not just sitting. You're not just standing there. You're imagining what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes because next 10 seconds. Because the worst thing for a goalkeeper is a counter.
Yes, betul.
Yes.
Yang tu
The
memang.
scariest part is a counter. And nak pula kalau someone who is besar and you can nampak dia lari slow tu okay lagi. Dapat player macam Michael Owen ke macam Messi ke macam Allah.
Tapi kalau I paling takut adalah time relax. Time yang kita to relax. Macam kita nampak tak ada apa-apa. I selalu banyak kena goal yang macam tu.
Because
maksudnya macam macam not overconfident. It's like macam I don't know. Padahal budak tu tak ada buat apa-apa tapi they just try. I selalu kena macam tu.
So is it due to a focus thing?
Yeah, I think mungkin to focus ke to macam terlampau rasa bola tu akan pergi kuat. Macam tu. So kita punya reply buat sebenarnya bola tu je.
Okay. No lah, because like it's hard to baca placing. That's one thing.
Yes.
It's really hard to baca placing lah because like we think based on dia punya movement nampak macam ni shot kuat gila straight, confirm straight. But then it's just a nice placing yang pergi bottom corner. Is there like a method for you yang macam like to read that?
That's why I sekarang ni gunakan pendekatan untuk bermain dengan amatur. Maksudnya main dengan orang yang baru main.
Okay.
That one is a good experience sebenarnya.
Wow, so you go back to basics.
Kita back balik to because of kita dah biasa sangat. Yang ni pop sini, pop sini. Macam we cut the ball, we fly, we dive, we split. Itu normal. Tapi in term of kita tak perasan sebenarnya back to basic yang kadang-kadang baru nak tendang, baru yang macam overconfident, tak confident dia nak tendang, rupanya that ball is sebenarnya hard to baca.
Yeah, it's dangerous because like you never know where it's going.
Yes, betul. So that's why I gunakan pusing balik. I play with my of course my girl and then amatur. I join them to friendly. So I akan nampak kat situ. Kadang-kadang dengan tendangan yang macam tak sangka, kita belajar kat situ.
Okay, guys, tips are just coming out. Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah. Siapa yang nak jadi goalkeeper, learn tolonglah dengan podcast ni, banyak info siut. Allah Akbar. Terima kasih lah Nina. So here's the one thing about now you're talking about psychology tadi kan. So like when a game goes wrong, kalau kalah, it's either your teammates blame you or you blame yourself. So how when you blame yourself, how do you forgive yourself after a game? Walaupun somehow you know it's not your fault. Ni lumrah keeper lah. You know it's not your fault. And you don't want to blame your teammate, especially you don't want to blame your last man or you don't want to blame your main defender, but you blame yourself. How do you forgive yourself after that? Okay,
perjalanan Nina dalam kita change to futsal pula. Okay, sebab futsal we have every year league, every year tournament.
Ada tournament.
Macam football we don't have specifically macam ada league. So futsal we find kita akan jumpa every year, memang akan main. So every year kita akan tukar-tukar. What my experience, I start with not lah worst team. Kadang-kadang tim ni memainkan peranan juga. Yes. Our friend, our teammates sangat memainkan peranan.
We are stuck to just one a certain location.
Yeah,
we can't go out. If we leave that's when you will. Then is our fault lah.
So the circle tu sebenarnya kita kena pandai, pandai pilih, pandai together. Kita kena pandai, orang cakap kena combinekan. Macam kita tak boleh musuh dengan tim kita sendiri. The first thing yang kita kena buat adalah kita kena berkawan dengan dia orang. Baru dia blame tu tak. Macam kau blame aku blame kau. Macam kau lah buat dia tak ada. So from the first tu Nina not lah bad experience, tapi Nina dapat team yang blaming, gaduh
so
and everything. So dia jadi ada betul toxic, politik, itu normal in the team. So after 5-10 years tu macam Nina macam pengalaman lah, macam pahit, suka, sedih semula dengan teammate. So bila kalah yang ni blame yang ni gaduh, yang ni rasa macam nak tumbuk yang ni. It's normal in the team. But the thing I belajar adalah selepas tu adalah sebenarnya kita kena blend. Sebelum kita, maknanya bila kita dah ada selection kan, kita dah tahu teammate kita kena blend dengan diorang. Maybe sometimes we kena eat together, kita kena ada benda tu. Sebab in the game sangat penting. Kadang-kadang memang kita buat mistake. So diorang it's okay. Sangat-sangat memainkan peranan. Betul. Sama juga dia do mistake. Woi, kau ni tak kerti. Kita pun sendiri as a goalkeeper, as a last man, kita tak boleh shout dekat dia, boleh herdik dia, sebab dia akan moralize. Bila dia moralize, dia tak akan membantu kita. Dia tak akan membantu team. So that's why I learn from one team to one team. The best team yang I rasa macam I salute adalah Team Felda. That one is a good team with a good players, with a good attitude players, with a good, kira macam the management pun is a good. So I sangat-sangat bersyukur. I put the effort untuk berada di situ, pergi selection, pergi training. Masa tu training I duduk dekat Bukit Jalil, tapi I training dekat Gombak.
Ya Allah.
So memang
that's a whole different unit. Itu dah hujung ke hujung dah tu.
Dan the training pula macam pukul 8 we have to balik kerja terus. So
Zoom
banyak lah
terus.
so I think I suka because of the environment tu. Tak adalah I cakap itu antara the best team. Then we are champion, defend 2 tahun defending champion.
Okay.
So after that kita dah bertukar lah. So ada few problem apa semua. So right now tu dah berpisah. But now I dengan Melaka the same teammate yang masa I dengan
Felda.
Yeah.
Oh, who was in Felda lah yang you?
Yeah, mostly macam like geng Intan Sarah,
Okay, Intan Sarah.
Baileys, Ryan, Hanis. So
Okay.
antara orang yang lebih kurang di dalam Felda tu lah.
Okay, yeah. So it's those same girls juga lah.
That girls is, I think I salute lah, because of even they good but they still
Humble.
yes. I cakap tak, bukanlah I cakap dia orang lain pun okay, but I love to play with them lah.
That's your favorite choice of players lah. Kalau dapat berpisah sama orang, it's like that's who you want to work with lah.
They good lah in part of bila tactically after you keluar dia bincang. They're not blaming each other. They bincang. They talk each other. That one is a good team in a team. So mana-mana team kalau you pergi pun, kalau you ada that culture, I think everybody will
do more right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, because like for what from like based on my experience lah, because dulu main for tournament apa, when you see the opposition team is like having an internal fight, that's when you just look at them and you just like lick your lips and macam like dah boleh makan dah ni. It's like macam like we got this guys. So macam like, has there been a real fight like macam like, especially for national team or like a very important level lah, state national level, where you accidentally like had a major fight tepi at the side court?
Udah tak faham, kurang faham.
Okay, sorry, just sikit So macam on a state or national level, kalau main on national state level, pernah tak you experience pergaduhan or like macam perdebatan kat tepi court? Macam like tepi padang like half time
between
teammates.
In national level, so far I think they have a mentality yang good.
Okay.
Mostly yang sepanjang I dengan international, tak ada yang jarang-jarang I rasa yang emo tu ada kadang-kadang. Cuma
kena ada emo. Kena emo.
Ada. Even kadang-kadang coach emo pun ada juga.
Itu yang bahaya. Itu yang semua macam yes sir.
But macam I cakap lah, in national, because of the good things is we support each other. Bila dia ni dah kena school, dah kena marah dengan coach kan, kita macam as a kita panggil keeper department.
Wow.
Keeper department. Yes, we earn our keeper 3 or 4 kadang-kadang. We sit down, we cakap no, it's okay, jangan macam ni semua. Kita that's one yang I sangat-sangat suka, the harmony tu. Walaupun kita ni compete each other tau.
But because you make sure, because you're on the same team, you make sure that they are motivated and they stay strong.
Yes, because of even kita goalkeeper, kita ni bersaing tau.
Yes, and there's only one spot.
One spot je for the goalkeeper. Tapi I think bila kita bukanlah cakap berbuat baik tu like macam saja-saja macam
It's
tak,
like
tapi
macam
sebenarnya
like poyo-poyo baik lah.
Poyo-poyo baik, no. Tapi I think keeper yang memang together macam I dulu dengan Maui, dengan Shima for the national, we good each other. Bila ada benda tu, we good in part of challenging.
Okay.
Dia benda tu macam you cakap, berbalik apa yang you cakap tadi, ada score ke apa semua. In national jarang berlaku benda tu. But instead for early masa I main futsal tu dengan tim sekian tu, ada satu yang memang I takkan lupa lah, because of the goalkeeper, I the second choice masa tu. Tapi the discipline of goalkeeper datang lambat, tak mau masuk, I masuk dulu. So bila dia nampak I masuk dulu, dia like macam marah dekat coach. I macam like, oh, you datang lewat.
Kau datang lewat? Aku masuk dulu dah macam mana?
Tapi dia like macam that's why I macam itu yang tak best. Because of kita sendiri pun tak fokus di dalam game. So adalah one team dululah. Sampai macam tu sekali ada yang bergaduh macam like
okay lah. Since dah masuk macam culture punya issue culture sikit kan. So it's like, no, the star mentality, does it still exist ke rasa dia? star
dulu lah
mentality.
the previous back 5 year ada. But now I rasa dah kurang because of macam I cakap lah, we play as a team and then ada tu mungkin tak adalah banyak, tapi masuk I macam dia tak obviously sebab dia good fight lah. Positive fight dia macam tak. For now lah, itu yang I rasa lah. Now punya dia tak ada sangat. Lepas tu dia yang I suka now dia punya futsal FUBA, dia orang keep supporting each other.
Which is good lah.
Which is good. Macam dulu, yes. Dulu I think
2010,
2008
2008 sampai 2015 lah, I would say.
something like that. Yes, betul. That one I tak tahu. I pun don't know why ada macam benda-benda yang cakap belakang. Itu normal lah.
I mean, like, that goes in any team lah kan.
So itulah. But now I rasa dia different. Nampak lain lah. Even in social pun still ada, tapi dia tak obviously.
Okay. So hopefully in the future we will come back and do another talk pasal bola and training lagi. Hopefully, because like macam I think we went like 30 minutes talking just about technical stuff sahaja pun dah 30 minit. So let's move to culture kejap lah, okay? So like there's a lot of things I nak tanya opinion about tau. Macam contohnya macam stigmas.
Okay.
Like I memang when it comes to bola and futsal, somehow the first stigma that comes to mind when it comes to women it's like macam, oh, kalau kau main bola kau pengkit. Like, I'm sorry, it's like macam it's not true. Like, those who main futsal know it's not true, but why is there a stigma like that? Especially when we all started playing 2010, like zaman is no longer 70-an 80-an tau. It's already 2000s plus dah masuk dah 10 dekad masuk millennium tu, and we still have that mentality time tu of kau nak main bola ke? Kau pengkit ke? Kau main sports kau pengkit ke?
Okay, macam bagi Nina, even my parents first. My parents is not really macam, betul ke main bola? Dia sendiri pun tak percaya. And dia sendiri pun macam, ni at first masa I punya, kira macam I involved dengan bola, dengan futsal ni, my parents pun tak percaya. Tapi my mum still put trust on me. Sebab I have my backup yang paling besar my mum lah.
Okay.
So kalau ikutkan, my dad tak bagilah. Ikutkan sebenarnya the first thing masa tu 2004 2005.
Wow, you were still very young lah.
So my dad macam tak bagi. Tapi I pujuk lah, cakap my mum gini. So my dad, okay fine, finally dia release I lah. Masa tu kita ada national camp and everything. Ya, betul sangat. Bila macam the first thing masa kita dalam camp kan, kadang kita keluar lah pergi kedai beli kan. Tanya kan dia know we are national training kat sini. So dia tahu I main national. Apa ni perempuan main bola, patut duduk dapur lah. Yes, that one memang I dengar. Kita dengar clearly dengar kan. So what the things yang I kena buat adalah I kena buktikan. I nak buktikan pada orang, this is not like macam stigma yang contohnya perempuan tak boleh main bola. Satu. Lepas tu perempuan yang main bola ni adalah kasar. Perempuan yang bola ni sebab dulu kalau you guys ni mengikuti Nina daripada dulu, Nina berambut pendek.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm not like memang I macam nampak ganas, tapi I still cakap perempuan.
No, I mean
like macam lady.
Let me just fix that. Let me just like fix that perception. Kat luar court, you were very nice, you were very sweet, you talk soft spoken. On the court, you were screaming at everyone.
Yeah, that's why mungkin orang berfikiran, they set the mental like that. So bagi Nina, macam Nina taklah 100% salah korang. Mungkin juga daripada segi pemakaian kita ke apa ke. Mungkin orang cakap, pakai sok pendek macam perempuan lah, pakai rambut pendek. Tapi sebenarnya Nina berambut pendek dulu sebab Nina main goalkeeper. Kita sentiasa sebab kita sentiasa dengan berlumpur, dengan rumput. So dia senang lah. Tapi Nina ubah perubahan tu juga. Nina berambut panjang selepas tu. Nina look betul-betul feminim. I think right now pun dah banyak girl yang,
I mean, if you're talking about 2017, your hair was about here lah kan?
Memang pendek. No, like boy.
It wasn't. I think it was like just above the shoulders.
Ada juga yang memang macam pendek betul.
Okay. Time tu tahun bila tu? Because I think I missed that quote.
2000 I think 2010 2010 juga rasanya, tak silap. I tak ingat.
Okay, 2010, yeah, then I agree because like time tu I was not mistaken, you're playing with Becky. You already played with Becky kan? So it was like the loudest person in the entire court. Tapi that's normal lah. Okay, before we go back to technical, just information. Keeper diam is the worst keeper.
Yes, betul. Sebab kita tak boleh diam because of kalau kita tak arahkan our defender, it's be again hard to us. Kita akan susah because of dia tak tahu, dia tak ada mata dekat belakang. They
Yup.
don't know how they nak pergi. So kita kena shout. So memang kita kena busy dia memang
People don't realise vocal cord kita sakit di mana lepas tu tau.
Yes, betul.
Sumpah. I bet kalau you marah anak pun takkan sampai ke level tau.
Betul. So that stigma yang mengatakan bola dan pekit, bola dan tomboy itu sebenarnya salah.
Yes.
Benda tu kita jangan tengok luaran. Kita kena tengok juga secara inner. Kita kenal dulu. Dengan personality seorang pemain bola. Contoh yang Nina boleh cakap adalah bila Nina ada satu reality lah program dengan satu television TV dan Nina jumpa producer dia. So masa tu producer tu adalah baik sangat. Dia best friend Rudy.
Okay.
So dia kata, jomlah teman I nak jumpa pemain bola ni. So the first thing, ni Rudy cerita lah dengan best friend dia.
By the way guys, Rudy is her husband, alright? Rudy Crystal.
So dia kata, tak nak lah jumpa pemain bola ni kan tomboy semua. The first impression that dia cakap macam tu. So habis tu bila I dah jumpa semua, so the producer ambil lah gambar dengan I. The best friend dia tu ambil lah gambar dengan I. So posting on IG. So after that dia terus follow I and dia DM I.
I mean Roddy.
Yes.
Okay.
The starting lah macam mana. I macam lepas tu bila cerita balik lah kan, dia all cerita after dah berkenal, dah berkahwin semua, dia cerita balik. The first thing memang dia punya pandangan dia adalah bila pemain bola ni adalah seorang tomboy dan ni. Tapi bila dia tengok dekat I, then dia macam terkejut. Dia sebenarnya feminin pun ada, boleh main ladylike macam ni ada sebenarnya. So I tak boleh nak buang benda tu pada semua orang. Maknanya perception tu. Tapi apa yang I boleh buat, sebab ada juga pernah orang cakap I don't know, I pernah jadi become viral, not
Okay.
become viral like goalkeeper cantik. I think sampai the Brunei Indonesia. Some of them DM, dia kata terima kasih pada I, because of I semua orang terus buang anggapan main bola ni ada tomboy.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Adalah orang cakap, tapi I tak tahu lah sekarang ni kan. Tapi I think selepas tu I think banyak kot yang kita nampak sekarang ni. No, I think banyak dah yang feminin, yang lebih. I think pun right now pun national football yang kita pergi pada kelayakan Asia hari tu pun, you tengok mostly semua pun memang feminin, memang like not tomboy and everything.
I agree. Because macam tengok Steffi Sindhu pun macam like she looks like a girl. Like she looks like a normal like standard girl lah kan. But like macam I mean like maybe it's a perception for you because like you look scary on the court. Like tipu. It's like macam like I mean every goalkeeper has to have that muka
dia kena ada muka garang.
Muka nak makan orang tau. Kena ada muka tu. Kalau tak ada, memang semua ingat kau ni makanan. So you gotta eat them before they eat you.
Ya, betul.
So it's like macam it's a good thing that you're sharing this stuff because we need more female athletes. We need more athletes in general, first of all. But for our female division, we need more representation in all kinds of sports. Not just we need like in golf, we need them in tennis. We have them a lot in badminton now. But like, when it comes to football, I think like it needs to increase because like it's the biggest sport and it's like the best business lah. I mean that's my point of view. I mean, you agree?
Ya, sekarang ni pun I think ada. Cuma I think the good now is adalah kita ada media sosial.
Yes.
That we can see the girls is more involved and then more posting, more that open our first thing first sebenarnya adalah parents thinking.
Okay.
So parents thinking ni kadang-kadang dia akan mengarungkumi yang lain. So right now I think parents pun dah nampak dah actually feminim can play, bukan tak boleh main. Cuma kita kena jaga diri kita. Actually benda tu disiplin on ourselves jugalah. Kita tak boleh nak kata macam macam tomboy mesti akan ganas, mesti akan macam ni. Actually ada juga tomboy yang sebenarnya bukan yang macam like tomboy, tapi sebenarnya dia orang feminim je.
Yeah, it's just that people need to understand that when you're playing certain sports, like for example football ke apa kan, you need short hair. It's like they like people, if you're not an athlete, you will not understand that the need for like short hair because when it gets into your eye, that is like 2 seconds taken away from the game.
Betul.
It's like macam like, orang tak faham that part. So is there enough coverage or exposure on female athletes? To be honest, in mainstream media, is there enough or do we need more?
Jap. Going back.
Okay, sorry, complicated sangat. Sorry. Tak, so there is a lot of female athletes, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that there is enough exposure to all female athletes in Malaysia covered by the mainstream media? Kat social media, yes, kita admit banyak, but is mainstream media doing the same thing for them? Like macam expose diorang banyak-banyak?
Okay. Daripada based on my experience lah. Bila I punya tiba-tiba macam I become a viral and I jadi ni. Banyak je related media-media masa and lain yang get involved. Involve kat maknanya macam expose kami in part of lain-lain lah. Maksudnya tak semestinya media sosial. Banyak je TV ke and everything ke. I banyak je join pergi ke event entertainment and TV show and everything. So bila dia orang perkenalkan I pun sebagai atlet kebangsaan. So kat situ, daripada situ orang yang tak minat sport, orang yang bukan sport juga mengenali I, oh dia ni atlet, oh dia ni macam ni, oh dia ni macam ni. So ada juga fan base I bukannya daripada totally yang sport juga, yang daripada sekarang ni adalah because of I have family. So ada juga lagi yang lain mengenali I bukan daripada sukan juga.
So because it's family based punya
family
okay. So let's move back to you, like personal stuff lah sikit. Okay, the transition between like free hair dengan pakai tudung, is there any change in the game? Because like logically speaking, when the more clothes you have on, the heavier you are. So does that affect your game?
Okay, at first it's very very memang I sangat-sangat memikirkan juga bila I nak transit diri I for daripada tak berhijab ke berhijab. It's a different thing tau. And then memang betul we have to inner, we not just hijab tau, inner inside and everything,
like
semua semua banyak juga ni attire. Tapi sebenarnya dia bukan menghalang. Sebenarnya dia daripada segi mula I memang rasa one of yang macam susah juga I nak berhijab masa dulu adalah because I training ni. I training sangat difficult, kita pakai short and everything. Tapi sebenarnya kita akan adapt benda tu.
Okay.
Dia bukan satu alasan, tapi dia bukan juga satu orang kata
penghalangan, ya,
betul. So benda tu boleh buat. Kita kena tanya diri kita lah. Macam I tak boleh cakap juga, oh korang kena pakai tudung ni sebenarnya okey apa semua, tak. Dia depends on
it's
you.
It's a personal choice.
Tapi kalau tanya I, I sebenarnya masalah tudung dulu mula-mula. Yang pasal inner and everything I okay. Tudung sebab dia tak sama macam kita berjalan, tudung jalan, tudung ni, tudung tu. Dia ada lain.
Yeah, I know, because it's a dry fit. Tudung kan.
We have to cari and dry fit. We have to at first tu I struggle with that first.
Why?
Because of
the sweat tambah.
The sweat. Kita kena cara pembersihan, and we have anak juga. Kita sebelum balik kita kena bersihkan diri kita because of we tak nak effect to them. So di mana ada orang cakap masalah, pasti ada penyelesaian. So I adopt benda tu. I ambil benda tu sebagai cabaran, but now alhamdulillah memang okey. Dia tak ada sebagai halangan pun untuk I. So memang frankly speaking is a bit hard, but I rasa yelah, setiap pengorbanan mesti ada ni kan. So kita kena I rasa okey je sebenarnya. Tak ada ni.
No, because like just speaking from a technical point of view kan, macam sebab even if you pakai dry fit apa, because like when you sweat accumulates kan, jadi berat. Itu je problem dia.
Tapi right now dah ada kain yang memang
yang
just 5 minute dia akan. So tak, I cakap kita kena explore. Because kita kena explore. So I takut juga kan, macam alamak nanti cepat ada garu gatal ke tak selesa kan. Macam I kena ikat. Ada I fikir, tapi padahal benda tu ada je sebenarnya. Kita kena cari lah. Kita kena explore benda tu. Kita kena tanya. So ada sebenarnya. Dan dia tak adalah cuma macam first I pernah juga pakai tudung biasa. Kita kan try and error.
Wow, as during a game. During training ke during game?
During training.
Alhamdulillah lah, janganlah pakai game.
So we don't have any big game lagi. So right now training. Macam kita kan kadang bola kan, kadang keeper kalau pergi kalau kita check timing yang untuk pergi bola yang on air. So kita kena heading bola tu keluar. Pernah juga dia lalu salsa.
Why were you heading the ball, your keeper?
Tak, bila futsal, kita
you
punya
have to
timing.
train.
The long pass tu
Yeah.
ada. So kan kita akan check timing. Biasa
Yeah.
long pass tinggi kan. So kita tak boleh nak punch dia because luar di.
Oh, so you wanted to header because okay, understood.
So sometimes dia penazok.
Okay.
Tapi that one is experience lah.
Okay, I mean like, it's kind of insane lah because like I will never leave because like I'm not like this speaking for myself, but I will never leave the D for like so many different reasons lah. Okay.
Banyak sebenarnya.
Banyak reason tak nak keluar. Tapi like kira you like Raja Gopal said lah, you're brave lah. You sanggup keluar D and ambil risiko. Okay.
Sebab adalah a few things, tapi for now okay. Dia tak adalah mengganggu I, dia tak adalah ni, cuma kita kena pandai lah, kita tahu.
So because before this you tak pakai when you tak berhijab kan. So you didn't wear any elbow pads or whatever juga tau. So now since dah boleh pakai compressor, tak nak ada extra protection ke for the joints?
Maksudnya
macam like, so sekarang ni kan pakai compressors and inners kan. So bolehlah letak macam like padding extra kan. Tak nak try ke? Ada malas.
So macam susah je tu. Tapi taklah, okay, I think
pilihan sendiri lah kan. It's a keeper's choice.
Tapi kan I for now bagus jugalah macam kita try and error tau. Sekarang ni I in keluar I tak ada masalah dah. Nak pakai yang untuk keluar I dah okay dah. Tapi in sport ni I tengah macam try and error lagi. Try yang ni okay tak, try ni sebab kita pun kena belajar kan.
Yeah, you never stop learning. The thing is tak boleh berhenti belajar. Tak boleh kita complacent tau. Once you stop, once kita rasa macam aku dah power, memang kau start kat situ lah.
Yes. Bagi Nina macam orang kata Nina keeper, bagi Nina belum lagi sampai benda tu. So now Nina ada benda untuk improve, untuk buktikan pada orang yang hijabi players can play.
Yeah. Which is true lah, because there is not just in sports, tapi macam like workout pun orang nak bising. Oh, dia workout tapi dia workout pakai tudung tapi baju ketat. It's like, why do you care about that? It's like she's working out, guys. Focus on that part boleh tak? She's being healthy. That's the point here.
Yes. Don't blame or don't put them like macam pesalah.
Yeah.
Try to, mungkin kalau ada benda yang tak betul. Tapi I think we have to encourage them juga supaya dia orang tak malu juga. Kan ada juga yang segan, malu kan. Tapi kita kena encourage lah. Jangan macam negatif je kan.
Because like we were supposed to like as millennials kan, orang kata like, oh, you guys are going to be the change apa semua. It's like macam no, we didn't get that far. So it's like we have to like inspire change for the younger generation.
Yeah, betul.
So it's like macam like to younger kids lah, yang boys and girls yang nak try jadi goalkeeper, like what would your advice be?
Okay. For me, first thing first, bila you nak jadi goalkeeper, you have to berani. Itu paling penting. You nak decide apa pun, you have to berani. Kalau you macam takut, you jangan jadi goalkeeper. Betul. Because of the first thing first, okay, you punya decision ke, you punya reflect, you put nombor second. The first thing you kena berani. You jangan takut, sebab I think macam I thought macam okay, bila I suruh sesiapa jadi kan, takutlah coach, takutlah dia macam I think bola je kot pemikiran I, tapi sebenarnya ada player yang takut. So you kena put aside your punya takut bila you nak jadi goalkeeper. Itu the first thing first yang kena buat.
No, because ada juga defender yang takut halang bola juga. And then dia macam like, aku ingat kau nak tahan, asal kau lepas.
Tak, dia macam
No, it's not just girls Ada juga guys yang siap. Worst one, tunduk weh.
Sebab the first thing first keeper, memang you bayangkan kalau orang cakap kan, training keeper ni kadang-kadang macam dalam tak sampai 1 meter, you kena bola tu tendang dekat you.
Yes.
So,
nak pula bola tonjol.
Ya. So kita kena, yang paling penting cakap berani kena apa pun. So the first one. The second one, you have to train. You have to train to avoid injuries. Because of keeper, dia sangat senang kena injuries. Walaupun kita nampak macam keeper je kot, tapi dia sangat kena. Sebab macam kita tangkap bola je, tapi kita boleh patah jari.
Yes, I also nak ask you also juga, because you also tak suka taping your jari. Biasanya kat keeper, like futsal keepers we tape. But you tape?
Ada I tape.
Oh,
Kalau training biasanya I tape ni je lah for my wrist ni.
Lah,
tapi kalau game memang betul-betul lah kita akan memang do tape lah. Sometimes kita tape 3 je for training kan. Kena tak sempat kita tape yang 3 je.
Kena lambat
jimat kan.
Sampai lambat kan.
Tapi so macam for that one, you have to training tu because of you kena bagi muzzle you ready. Sebab keeper ni reflex. Sometimes you You tak tahu you akan buat apa. Betul, macam ada satu keeper macam dia naik hantu. Macam I pun kalau dia tiba naik hantu, kita nak main relax, tapi kita punya reflex tu sebenarnya pop. Macam tu. So kalau puzzle kita ready, no injuries. Tapi kalau muzzle kita tak ready, you're gonna be injuries. So the third one, sebenarnya you kena ada hubungan baik dengan teammate you. If you have to create the positive vibe tu dengan dalam team tu. Sebenarnya keeper ni dia kena ada benda tu. You kena ada satu culture yang macam, bukanlah suruh orang suka kita, happy dengan kita, tak, tapi kita kena ada fair, macam good relation with the team, with the coach. Kita jangan bermusuh. Even within goalkeeper pun we have to kena ada. Sebab bila you ada positif benda tu, dia akan jadi automatically macam kita sendiri macam happy automatically. So and the empat you kena ada extra dan keep healthy. You kena jaga badan. Macam keeper you kena itu I lah. Macam I rasa you kena jaga diri you. You kena maintain. It's okay you berisik ke, macam orang katakan keeper kau kena berisik ke, tak apa. Tapi healthy. Sometimes kadang-kadang kita tengok orang gemuk ni macam, gemuk lah, dia ni tak sihat lah. Tak. Sebenarnya kita kena healthy.
You don't expect, jangan ingat orang besar dia ingat badan dia besar, dia tak boleh fly.
So that one is, itu antara yang generally as a athlete you kena ada.
Okay. Alright, so unfortunately kita dah out of time dah hari ni. Banyak nak sembang hari ni lah. Harap Nina boleh spend more time with us in the future lah, kalau boleh lah, kalau sanggup lah, insyaAllah. Hopefully you enjoyed today lah.
Okay. Banyak kan kita.
Banyak kan kita. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for all listeners for staying with us at Sembang Sihat by Sihat. It's a very big honour today lah. Sumpah lah, ni memang honour besar lah, dapat spend time dengan orang yang tengah pakai logo Malaysia kat dada tu represent Malaysia. So if kalau orang ada any questions for you nak bagi Instagram ke tak?
Boleh. You boleh follow ataupun boleh DM. InsyaAllah kalau Nina ada free time, Nina akan balas you all punya DM.
So it's at Nina
and Nina Azman.
N-I apa?
N-I-E-N-A _ZMANN.
Okay.
Nina Azman.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Hopefully dapat lah. Nanti confirm lah pada orang kacau you mana. Sorry apologies in advance So I want to say thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for invite me. Thank you nak bagi I share this one.
It's a very like bus banyak kot you dapat share kan. So best gila kot. So hopefully next time boleh ada masa, insyaAllah in the future kalau ada masa tolonglah spend time dengan kita kan.
Boleh kita boleh talk benda lain.
Yes. Banyak benda tak simpan lagi. Okay, so guys, that's it for us today at Sembang Sihat by Sihat. I'm Mike Azman. She's Nina Azman. We're out guys. See ya.